What's up, traders? Welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. What a hectic day today we had in the markets. It was just absolutely, when we ran the scanner and we were looking at the stocks, I was a little bit overwhelmed. I was like, oh man, today is going to be quite a hectic little day. And then I had two pre-market trades to kind of test the waters a little bit, and they definitely got me in the right mindset of what we might be expecting for today. So on the recap video, I want to focus on the trades I made, obviously, but I want to focus on at what point should I have stopped trading. And there's one trade in particular where I knew, oh man, this one, I should probably just wrap up after this, because what do I want to expect from here on out? And if I did, it would have been a very different outcome for today. So let's see when we go to the charts now, if you guys can spot that trade. If you guys were in the live stream today, maybe you already know which trade that is. But regardless, most importantly, there's a big lesson to learn, and that's really why I want to kind of do this little detective work, and hopefully you guys can guess the right one. And once you find out which trade it is, leave a comment below. Does it make sense? What would you have done? I'm really interested to hear what your thoughts are on wrapping up trading for the day. Oh yeah, also on Monday, you will see me in a different location. I'm going on a little bit of a road trip, but really just a quick road trip. I'm going to more of a house in a little bit more nature, getting out of the city for a week. So next week, we're gonna be trading in West Germany for basically, I leave Sunday, I get back on Sunday. So a little bit of a week trip. Will be fun, a little change of scenery. I'll try to take a little bit more video. So let's get into it now. Don't forget to drop a like, guys, if you enjoy the content. And if you're new here, remember, we go live every morning at 3:15. No, that's my local time. At 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to trade the market open every day. After we review the watch list, I got my compression glove on. I think it's helping a little bit, but I don't know. I'll have to do a few more days. But all that clicking around is giving me a little bit of carpal tunnel. Although I think it's actually the video editing that's the worst part. But worst in part of like for the wrist, the worst for the wrist. All right, guys, let's go to the charts now. Hey, traders. So welcome back. Kind of a weird day today. We started off a little bit shaky. I was testing the water pre-market trading a little bit with half position size. That way I can always reduce my risk just in case something bad happens. And I realized that, the breakouts were a little bit light. The follow through, the continuation was not really what we were expecting. So I was like, okay, if anything, I don't think I'm gonna be really trading breakouts today. I don't really have a nice lead gapper that has, great catalyst and, it's just the most obvious lead gapper. So I'm definitely gonna ease off the throttle. That was kind of my thesis today, and it definitely worked. Unfortunately, then I kept pushing my luck, trying to buy some dips, trying to buy some reversals, and that's where I burnt myself. So I made 5 trades today. I was up 10% at one point based on my average position size, and then I ended the day negative $7. So at one point I should have stopped trading, and I'll tell you the trade I should have stopped trading on on the way. But you guys can basically guess somewhere in here. It's one of these. KPSF, let's quickly go to this one. This is actually our lead gapper that I thought was going to be a potential big winner, but it totally wasn't. And actually, when it started selling off pre-market, that's when I basically stopped looking at it. So here's KPSF. It was gapping up about, here's my little cheat sheet. It was gapping up about 180% pre-market. So this move right here, 180%, not too bad. Here we go. And then, this pullback here was, kind of on the higher side, but we started popping back above VWAP. And this is when I was like, okay, well, KPSF, this might actually be kind of interesting. Let's keep a close eye on this one. And then in this area, oh yeah, let me quickly tell you guys a little bit. This is about the company. This is a Chinese apparel company, apparel manufacturer, 1.5 million float. No catalyst, but a lot of news from the coronavirus time. So that's why I was so nervous about this. And I was like, it doesn't have a catalyst. Like, I don't really like that. So let's be very, very cautious here. And that's basically what I was trying to be cautious. So that's why I was like, okay, there's a potential here for a breakout, but it doesn't have that much volume. Actually, let me go back one click. You can see we have more buy volume than sell volume. So I was kind of like on the fence with this one. I bought on this dip here below the 9-minute EMA. I bought on the way back up. So I wanted to see momentum come back in. And then at one point, I was like 3, 4, 5% up on this trade. And then I was like, okay, well, here we go. We're having a breakout. But then it was a fake out and pull back. And then I was like, on this candle, I was like, this is such a shaky stock. I don't know if I want to be in this stock if it has, a flash pullback and then all of a sudden take a, 6-7% loss. So I closed out this position. Unfortunately, we did have the breakout I was expecting. This was a 12% move, but then it, totally sold off. And this sell off is basically when I stopped looking at it. At first, I was thinking maybe we'll have a red degree move on it, but then at one point I didn't even care because it was just selling off that much. And oftentimes when a stock just keeps selling off, I stop looking at them. But yeah, I mean, this pop here could have been good. I could have maybe held a little bit longer. Either way, I would have maybe made 70, 80 bucks on this one, which is not bad. Ultimately, it was half position size. So no matter what, it would have not been the biggest winner. And no matter what, it would have not been the biggest loser. So, but this trade, told me, okay, this is going to be kind of a weird day. A little bit, because I already knew that trading something without a catalyst is already weird to begin with, and that's kind of what's being thrown at us. ZKIN, I actually had another one of these pre-market trades, ZKIN, and at first this one was looking like okay, maybe it could work out here. Let me zoom in. Oh god, I'm all over the place. Sorry about that, guys. Here it is. Okay. And let me go back here a little bit. So ZKIN was, one of our top 3 lead gappers, I would say. 80% gapping up in the morning, 4.3 million float, very nice. Not as nice as a 1.5 million from KPSF, but still pretty nice. Chinese steel company, and they have a catalyst, $50 million ready to go for expansion. Actually, like 49 point something. 49.7 expansion money ready to go. So I was like, okay, this is pretty hot. And this one starts pulling up here. Big volume here, has a 9-minute candle pullback, and then a 10% breakout. I'm like, boom, 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 we're getting action. This is what I like to see. So I was ready to go on ZKIN. And I was like, let me get one more pullback here. And then I entered here at 37, which at first I thought was going to be an okay pullback. But yeah, I could have probably got much better on this one. We had a little bounce here that I was kind of expecting, but it was weak, and then I closed this position for a small loss. So it wasn't really the best or worst. It was just, it was what it was. And then I was like, two breakouts that didn't have follow through, and there are lead gappers. Like, this is not very nice. And that's why ZKIN, I also kind of stopped watching it because, I mean, this is like a 35% move to the downside. I don't want to be trading that. CTIB was our next lead gapper. We'll talk about that in a second. Actually, we'll just talk about it now because why did I not trade CTIB? This was actually my #1 lead gapper on the day, and the big reason behind that was the 450% move to the upside. This was a big gapper. For 2.1 million float, U.S. auto parts company, board of directors kind of changing around. Again, kind of weird news, and I was like, I don't really like this news. Like, I don't know. I can't really get behind CTIB. I don't have the conviction behind it. It's up super high, and I just don't really understand why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really had a hard time getting behind any of these stocks today. So I was watching this one pre-market. I was thinking, well, maybe if it's trending above VWAP, maybe we could have a nice open here. But we're down 30%. I always say 30%. I don't want to see stocks pulling back more than that. And then right before the open, it had such a mean red drop, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to stop watching this one. It did, though, have one more red drop like that, kind of like a 20% move. And then it bounced up here. This was actually a pretty mean potential red to green move. This is a 47% gainer. So the fact alone that CTIB was one of our lead gappers, or the percentage biggest mover on the day with a 2.1 million float, with a catalyst, quote unquote, I should have maybe considered trading this one just because it had fast rate of change. I mean, any stock that moves 45% in just a few minutes, sometimes you want to trade those. So we had a nice little break here above the 9-minute EMA. We even held it for one candle, and then we had another move here. So even if I snagged this one, 15% move could have worked. Ultimately, buying this one, ideally on the dips, maybe somewhere in this area would have been interesting. The dip to 5.53 could have been interesting. I don't know. I think I could have traded CTIB, but I didn't. I really didn't like this massive sell-off we saw on it, and I was kind of undecided on what I should be watching. So let's quickly go here to the next trade, EMAN. This is an interesting trade, and I know a lot of you guys were watching this one. It was very surprising what happened here. I made 98 bucks on this trade alone, and yeah, well, this is the one I should have walked away on, and I'll tell you why. We had kind of a failed break to the upside here at 1.2. I was talking about this move before the market opened. I wanted to buy it on a dip and then a move to the upside. It kind of happened in the reverse. But we found some big support here between 105 and 11. And eventually we broke to the upside and we even got halted. So when a stock gets halted, a lot of people are watching that because they have halt scanners. And, oh, wait, 1 second. Yeah, okay, never ends. Everything's good. And when, you know, all this EMAN pops up on this scanner, it's like, you know, sharks smelling blood in the water. All they just come in and they want to see what's going on. They might not trade it, but they want to at least see what's going on. And that's what happened with EMAN. This thing just, you know, absolutely exploded. Once it had this big breakout, this was a big run, 33%. I wanted to get a quick pullback here at 111, and that's actually what we got. This was such a weird move with EMAN. You usually don't see these, you know, kind of candles. So I was like, oh God, like this is just a very weird day. You know, we're getting flash pullbacks, we're getting weak breakouts. So I didn't really feel comfortable trading any of this. And this was such kind of a lucky move. I'm not gonna lie, like this was pretty lucky that this even happened. I mean, this was not like, you know, breakout pullback, you know, wait for the right volume, get aggressive when it looks good. This is just like, oops. And, you know, I walked away with like 10% profit on this one. So I got very lucky. So here I am with 2 red trades pre-market and 1 lucky green trade. And I'm up actually 10% based on my average position sizes basically on the day. Like, what should I do? Well, I should have probably been like, today is not my day. I mean, yeah, I got lucky, but that's really what it was. So I should probably walk away today. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, and then the next 2 trades, I give back almost all my profit on CHRN. So let's talk about that, where I went wrong, because CHRN was a little bit ridiculous, and I'm a little bit upset with myself that I even gave back profit on this one, because it actually was pretty much what I wanted. Anyway, we had a nice run up here with CHRN, a huge run up, almost like from $3 to like $6. It's almost 100% technically from like all the way down here though, and then all the way at the top. And I was like, this is way overextended. I didn't feel comfortable buying any of these dips till we eventually broke VWAP, and I knew there was big support here, kind of in this area in the high 30s is what I was thinking would be a big support. I got a really okay entry here at 41, pulled back a little bit further, and then eventually I was up here like 20 cents a share, and that's pretty decent for a bounce trade. So I should have took my profits. I should have took my profits and ran. But since it was my second to last trade on this challenge account, I was like, no, I'm gonna hold a little bit longer because obviously it's, you know, one of my last trades. This is actually, it ended up being a big loss. It was a 30 cents a share loss, even more. That's way more than I want to be taking like ever. So that was kind of annoying. Walked away with a big loss on this one. So I was down like 67 bucks on this trade alone, not for the day, but just on this trade. So I was like, oh, that's dumb, because I was even up. I was profitable in this trade. I was like 4% profit on this trade. That's beautiful. You know, that's a little frustrating. Then eventually we came back down here to 2.5, and this is the trade I wanted. We even hit 2.59. I was waiting for an entry in like this 50s, like 55 to 57, something like that. We didn't get it, and then we ran up like 22-25%, and I was like, oh, that was the one I wanted. And then guess what? I bought on the dip here, and it kept on pulling back. Luckily, I collected my losses. This was a small loss. This is totally acceptable. The problem with this one was it probably would have never happened if this was, I closed out for a green trade, and then I would have got more aggressive on this trade. I know myself, and that's probably true. Every time I have a small loss, I get too conservative on my next trade, and I often miss the entry because of that. It's really ridiculous, but it happens to me all the time. At least I'm aware of that issue, and I could start improving on that issue. But it is what it is, and yeah, I don't know. I wish I could be a little bit more, I don't know, attentive to that problem that I have with, I don't know, what would you call that problem? Like, I don't know, letting one trade affect your second trade too much. So let's quickly go to, just for comparison, somebody said that CHNR looked like WAFU, and I actually did not look at WAFU yet. Obviously, they were talking about the day before, so let's quickly look at that. Where are we? So that's today, WAFU. A lot of you guys probably remember trading WAFU. We traded it as well yesterday. So yeah, let's see here, the similarities. Yeah, actually very similar. So this one, you know, pre-market all over the place, has a bit of a spike to the upside here, little curl, afternoon curl. finding some big resistance, and then just basically just sells off all day. Has a big bounce around the initial big whole dollar support zone for multi-month levels, and just like CHNR, also had a big initial bounce here at 2.5. That's what, that big bounce I was waiting for. So yeah, definitely have their similarities, and that's why trading small caps, you can become very profitable, and that's how we're growing our account month after month, because these patterns, that repeat themselves. It's not rocket science. It's very straightforward. The biggest challenge is handling your emotions, and for me, my biggest challenge in emotion aspect is dealing with the limits I have on myself because of the $25,000 challenge. So I'm limited on the amount of trades I can do, which makes me trade not what's in front of me, but trade what I would like to see maximize each trade. And that has been my biggest downfall on this challenge, hands down. So hopefully you guys can take that lesson away. From me, that's my biggest issue, because 20 cents a share, I always say I love taking profit at 20 cents a share on a $5 stock, and this is a $4.50 stock by the time we entered it. So this is like well above my take profit range, but I didn't take profits, so I'm only to blame on that one. But yeah, it is what it is. So hopefully you guys were able to learn from that. Don't forget to drop a like, guys, if you do enjoy the content, if you did learn something, and I will see you guys then first thing on Monday morning to trade the market open. And yeah, guys, if you're new here, I'd love to see you again. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, whatever it takes. I want to see you again. Let's keep growing the community, and have a great weekend, guys. Till next time, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao, guys.